Hi, welcome to my video on part 6. Find the values of trig expressions, number 2. This is in the section on reciprocal ratios. But now I'm going to find the values in the special right triangles of 30, 60, 90, 45s. Find the exact values of each. Notice we have 30 and 45 and 60 degree angles. So I will draw the right triangle and have a right angle, have a 30 degree angle and a 60 degree angle. So in this triangle, opposite 30, I'll put a 1. Opposite to 60, I'll put a root 3. Opposite to 90, I put a 2. Notice I could put in 2n and n root 3, but I'm dealing with ratios, so I just need the numbers. And 1, smallest angle is 30, 1 is the smallest number. Largest angle is 90, so largest number is 2. The in-between angle is 60, the in-between number is root 3. We also have the 45 right triangle with a 90 degree angle. Because the two angles equal, the two sides are equal, 1, 1, and the hypotenuse is a root 2. And we also need SOHCAHTOA. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tan is opposite over adjacent. Reciprocal of sine is c, so cosecant. Hypotenuse over opposite. Cos, reciprocal is secant, sec. Hypotenuse over adjacent. And the reciprocal of tan is cot, which is adjacent over opposite. So let's work out some expressions and remind you that you can work out these beforehand yourself to see if you get them right. And here we go. We have a 30 degree angle, so it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. 30 degree angle. Hypotenuse is 2, opposite is 1. And plus sign. We have the cot of 45 degree angle. Cot is adjacent over opposite. Any angle will do. Adjacent, 1, opposite, 1. So that's a 2 plus 1, which gives me a 3. And the cot of 60, subtract the secant of 30. Cot is adjacent over opposite. And I could have put that here, but I didn't. So let's put that at the top. So the cot of 60 degree angle, adjacent over opposite. So that's a 1 over root 3. 60 degree angle, adjacent is 1, opposite is root 3. Subtract the sine of 30. So the secant of 30, secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. 30 degree angle. Hypotenuse is a 2 over the adjacent, which is root 3. And I could subtract these right now, but let's simplify each one first. Root 3 over root 3. The denominator is root 3, so I'll multiply by root 3 over root 3. Root 3 times 1 is root 3. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. Subtract. 2 times root 3 is 2 root 3. Root 3 times root 3 is a 3. Remember, when you multiply a square root by itself, you get that same expression, number. And so that's a 1 root 3 over 3. So the common denominator is 3. And 1 subtract 2 is a negative root 3. C, that's sine. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. And sine 60 opposite, root 3 over 2. This is a multiplication, so I could put it in brackets or I could put a multiplication sign there. Secant 45. Secant is hypotenuse over adjacent. 45, hypotenuse is root 2 over the adjacent. Two of them are the same. 1 plus cos of cosine 45. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So 45-degree angle adjacent is 1 over root 2. Remember, either two angles are equal, so 1 is by both angles. Times cot 30. Cot is adjacent over opposite. 30-degree angles here, adjacent is root 3 over opposite, which is 1. And let's multiply. Root 3 times root 2 is root 6 over 2. Plus 1 times root 3 is root 3. Root 2 times 1 is root 2. This one has a radical, so I'm going to simplify this fraction, multiplying by root 2 over root 2. So that gives us root 6 over 2. Add on. Root 3 times root 2 is root 6. Root 2 times root 2 is a 2. And if I add those, I get a common denominator of 2. So that's a 1, and that's a 1. 1 plus 1 is 2 root 6. The 2's cancel, and the answer is just root 6, simplified. Notice I said exact values, which means leave it in radical form. And don't forget, you can pause the video and work this out beforehand to see if you know what you're doing. We have the tan of 60 squared and the cosecant of 45 squared. So there's the bracket. We're going to square it. Minus cosecant of 45 squared. So notice the square is here on the tan, meaning that that's the same as the tan of 60 squared. But you won't see it this way. The tan of 60 all squared means that the square is here, so you won't see it written like this. It'll be written like this. So 6 tan. The tan is opposite over adjacent. 60 opposite is root 3 over 1. The root of 3 over 1. And 45 cosecant. Cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. So hypotenuse over opposite. So 45 hypotenuse, which is root 2 over 1. So that gives me a root 3 squared. Root 2 squared. Root 3 times root 3 is 3. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. And that one is simplified. And the last question, we have find the exact value. Cosecant squared of 30. Cot of 30 minus the tan of 45. Again, just a review. Sac, ka, toa. Sine, opposite over hypotenuse. Cos, adjacent over hypotenuse. Tan, opposite over adjacent, reciprocal. S is the C, cosecant. And cos is C, I need S, secant. And tan is cot, and it's adjacent over opposite. Notice they're flipped around. And we need the right triangles. We have 30, 60, 90 angles, so it's a 30 and a 60. So opposite 30 is 1, opposite 60 is root 3, opposite 90 is 2. And we have the 45 right triangle special. Two angles are equal, so both sides are 1 and 1, and the hypotenuse is a root 2. Now, let's work these expressions out. There we go. We have a 30-degree cosecant. Or cosecant is hypotenuse over opposite. So let's just take our time. We have a 30-degree angle. Hypotenuse over opposite is 2 over 1. And it's being squared. 2 over 1 being squared. We have the cot of 30. Cot is adjacent over opposite for the 30-degree angle. Adjacent over opposite is root 3 over 1 minus, extend that over, the tan of 45. Tan is opposite over adjacent. Tan is opposite over adjacent. 45 opposite over adjacent is 1 over 1. And let's simplify that. So that's a 2 being squared. And that's a root 3 divided by 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. Simplify. 2 squared is 4. And we have a root 3 minus 1. Now notice we have a radical in the bottom, so the conjugate, to make that radical a real number, we multiply by its conjugate, which is root 3 plus 1. Root 3 plus 1, top and bottom, to make an equivalent fraction. And let me explain this. But first, let's multiply this first, and then I'll do some explaining. So 4 times root 3 is 4 root 3. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 4. Now, a shortcut here, because these are conjugates, you can multiply root 3 by root 3 and get 3. You can multiply negative 1 by negative 1, negative 1. What happens is that I could have multiplied root 3 minus 1 by root 3 plus 1. And that would give me root 3 times root 3 is 3. Root 3 times 1 is root 3. Negative 1 times root 3 is negative root 3. Negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. They cancel out, and I would add the 3 minus 1. But because we're multiplying these two multiplications are like A minus B, or plus B, times A plus B. And that gives you A squared plus AB minus AB minus B squared. And they cancel out, so it gives you A squared minus B squared. So notice that's the difference of two squares. So when you multiply two binomials, which are opposites, not really opposite, conjugates of each other, where we change only the middle sign, you'll always get A squared, B squared. So if you take the root 3 and square it, like right here, root 3 and squared, and you take the 1 and squared, then you'll get 3 minus 1. And then you can do the FOIL if you want, expand it out. So that gives 4 root 3 plus 4 over 2. Just write down a few equal signs here. And because we have 2 on the bottom, so that's 4 root 3 divided by 2 plus 4 divided by 2. That's a 2 root 3 plus 2. Notice the 2 is divided into both of these. Another way, look at that 4 can factor the 4 out. And 2 into 4 goes 2, so that's a 2 times root 3 plus 1, which is, so if you factor the 4 at the top and then divide it by 2, you get a 2, and then you got to multiply. So it's just as quick to, 2 is divided into both of these terms. There they are. Now you simplify. So you can do it this way, or you can go down this way, your choice. And that brings us to the end of the video. And if you like my video, click the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Visit my website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content that's on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained. Thank you for viewing my video. Bye-bye.